Hello, everyone. Welcome to Stock Talk Thursday, July 7th. I'm coming to you pre-recorded today, but still love for you to throw in your comments and your questions. Love to always get back to you guys on those. We're going to take a look at what's been going on in the market and then what was hot and not last week. And we kind of had an interesting one last week, so I'm excited to follow up with that. And we've got an interesting one for you this week as well. So let's jump right in and take a look what's been going on in the overall market. Here we go. Charts by Tradeway. Looking at the S&P, that's the overall market here, and you can see it's still downtrending. Overall, we are in a bear market. Interesting day today, though, as the little move up today almost showed we're making a little bit of a higher low. Now, that's not anything to get all crazy excited about. I'm not going to look at today and go, oh my goodness, new bull market. Here we go. No. Let's look at the bigger picture here over the last year. It's still been coming down. We've seen this before here. We had a higher lows right there. It went up. Actually, that was a pretty decent run right there. Even made a higher high, but then it did come down again. So that little guy right there, that's not anything to really jump up, get excited about, considering bull. It could honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes up to that 50 again. That's where I thought it was going to go, back in here. Let me zoom in on that again. I thought we were going to make a run up to the 50 just like we did before there and then fall down. But we may do that here. We may not. We'll just have to see. So that's kind of an idea at the overall market. If we do continue down and break these lows right here, well, where's the market going to go? Couple things you can look at. Let's go ahead and just zoom out as far as we can on this scale here. So here we are zoomed out to about almost 3 years worth of time on a daily chart. If we do break this 3,600 level right here with these lows, I could see you can see how that low right there kind of coincides with that high right there. You can kind of put a line right where the crosshairs are. The next obvious sign to me is actually right at about 3,600, right about there, coinciding with that high. And then if we break that, then we have the potential of a pretty good drop down right around 3,200 or so. So those are kind of the next levels that I'm keeping in mind if we do decide to continue down. And even though we're moving up a little bit, we could run into that 50-day right there, and then I would suspect we might start heading down again. So that's kind of a quick overview of the whole market, just so we kind of have our bearings and know where we're going from here. And last week, our hot stock for the week was General Mills. So we're going to take a look, just do a quick recap. General Mills had made that big run up and then was up that next day as well. A little bit of a, reluctant move down, bounce up off the 5 EMA, and then up again on Wednesday. So General Mills still showing to be pretty hot. You could do a nice bounce off the 5-day like that and then up again the next day. That shows that it's pretty hot. And again, it stayed above this line right here that it showed to be resistance, blew through that with conviction, and has only moved up from there. So General Mills still being a hot stock. Our not hot stock, this was an interesting one last week, Devon Energy. It's interesting because energy has been like the hot stock week after week after week. I've been trying to find stocks that were hot, that were outside of the energy sector, and it had been kind of challenging. But, the energy sector finally took a bit of a plunge, and you can see this line right here. We were looking at, believe this day right here, 29th or so, was the last one that we were looking at on last Stock Talk Thursday. We were right at this line right here, and there's kind of a decision point. Is that going to be support right there? Is that going to hold and then move up from there, or will that break down? It did break down. It broke through the 200 simple, even had good earnings still. They still beat out earnings, but still moving down. So, how far is this thing going to go? Possible line right now for Devon Energy is another 10 point or so drop down to about 43. This has been 8-point drop there, but I could see that happening, this low right here. So that's a possibility for Devon Energy. Definitely not hot. So what is hot and what is not hot this week? So let's go ahead and take a look here. We're going to come up here to the market page, and we're going to look at the sector chart over the last month. Now, there's nothing that is really hot. There's no sectors that have been hot in the last month. Makes sense. We're in a bear market. But then we need to go ahead and take a look as like, okay, well, what has been not the worst, right? Right now, of course, energy has been the worst over the last month. And then basic materials pretty bad. And you got some guys in the middle there, but there's two of them that kind of stand out that are like, oh, those are almost break even. Consumer defensive being one of them, and then healthcare being one of them. Healthcare actually, in a way, performing the best in the last month because it has dropped the least. So we're going to take a look at a healthcare stock. We're going to come into the heat map here. There we go. So we're looking at the healthcare. These are all the healthcare stocks over the last month. And so you see a few of them in the green. Again, green means up. Black ones are going to mean kind of neutral. You have this little chart up here to the right, a little legend, I mean. And then, of course, you got your red ones, which are not doing well. There's only one that's a really bright green right now, and that would be Moderna. So we're going to look at Moderna, and we're going to click on that guy. Here we go. Now, at first glance, you're probably thinking, that doesn't look too hot. We zoom out, it actually gets worse. Like, what? How is this the hot stock? You know, it was up at 475 plus. Now it's at 160. That's what it closed at on Wednesday. It was about right, just a penny below 160 there. So how is that the hot stock? Well, let's go ahead and just really zoom in here, right? We're going to look at a 3-month chart, and here we go. Perfect. This is what I'm looking at. I want to explain to you why this can be pretty significant. So just 3 weeks ago, we're down here at about $116 a share. That's a low on this day, or to close on this day, open on the next day, June 13th there. And then it's moved up to about 160 now. So what's going on with that, right? Well, that's about a 37% increase just in the last 3 weeks. That's pretty hot. Now, it doesn't look like much on the chart because the chart overall is just so they've really shrunk things down here because we have so much data to look at. You look at the last bit here. I mean, we got to cover this thing all the way up to $500 level. So that's why it doesn't look like a whole lot, but 37% increase in 3 weeks is pretty hot. Another thing I want to point out why this is pretty hot. You see this 100 simple moving average, the dashed red line. We have not been above that. Moderna has not been above that at all this year. And all of a sudden, we're above that. So let's really break down what's going on here. So we have some basing that happened here right around 120. I zoomed a little bit too much. There you go. Right around the $120 level, we have some basing. It kind of caught that, showing to be a little bit of support. Moved up, hesitated at the 100 simple, moved down a little bit, created a higher low, and has since broken the 100 simple and continued to move up and has made a higher high. Higher lows, higher highs point to an uptrend. Now, I'm definitely not saying that this thing is going to keep going up and up, but when these types of breakouts occur, it is not unlikely for them to go and at least retest the 200 simple moving average. Now, that guy is all the way up here about $210 or so. And so there's a lot of movement upward that it could make. Could potentially be seen a move up about $40 a share or so. Previous highs right here around 186. That kind of be the first level I'd be looking at for Moderna. So it's showing to be hot in the last few weeks, and it is showing some good signs that it could be continuing to be hot for a few more weeks. That's why Moderna makes our hot stock for the week. Let's go ahead and take a look at what is our not hot stock. And I'm just going to give it to you. It's going to be Coinbase Global. All right. Let's get some zoomed out. There we go. Take a look at this. Now, if you don't know, Coinbase, what they do is they are an online platform for buying, selling, and storing cryptocurrencies. Now, we've all heard of Bitcoin, and it's gone crazy for a while. And then lately, if you've been following it some, it's been really not hot, right? I mean, I almost wanted to make it our not hot stock, but since it's not a stock, it is cryptocurrency. It's something very different. We don't play with it. I had to get creative here, but Coinbase, this is a stock here. This is a company which deals with cryptocurrencies, and naturally, when crypto's down, Coinbase is going to be down as well. Now, it was last November that Bitcoin was up above 60,000, I think almost $70,000 per Bitcoin, and now it's down around 20,000. So less than a third is a value right now from what it was back in November. Meanwhile, Coinbase is only worth 1/7. It had been up here about actually a little over $350 a share, and now it's down to about 50. So that is a massive drop. And you just see this thing just EMA is inverted, 10 below the 20, below the 50, below 100, 200. So it's just not very pretty for Coinbase. It is a newer stock. In fact, I can't pull this thing back a whole lot farther, but it has struggled for a lot of, for the short time that it has been around, just over a year here. Went down, came back up. There's actually a pretty good line in here we can draw. Let's drop a horizontal line right around there. That's a pretty significant price level. If this thing were to turn around and start shooting up again, this 212 area or so could be a little bit of a battleground. Earnings, they had been making money every quarter except for this last one in May, showing a negative earnings report. So that's the big drop right there, which kind of sunk it to 50, and it's been kind of hanging out there. So we'll see. Maybe it can base. Maybe it can base right there. We'll put a line there just to see if that actually breaks that line right around $45 a share. Then it'd be heading down more, and that would be very bearish, not hot at all. So there you go. There you have it. Cryptocurrencies as a whole are not hot, but in stock terms, we're looking at Coinbase as our not hot stock for the week. If you'd like to learn more, I'd love to invite you to a Step 1 Start Your Journey. I actually have one that will be starting tomorrow. We are offering Step 1 Start Your Journey tomorrow and Saturday, all day. Coach Blair and myself, we're going to be teaching this course. You're going to learn all about stock trading and even get a bit of an introduction to options trading as well. So again, that'll be July 8th and 9th, tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. If you want to register, go to www.tradeway.com. All right, that's www.tradeway.com, and click on the button in the very middle that says Online Virtual Events. You'll see a whole bunch of events that we offer there. You'll see things like Bootcamp 2.0, plenty of other courses as well. You're going to look for Step 1 Start Your Journey. Step 1 Start Your Journey. Click on that, register. We'd love to have you. So be looking forward to seeing you at that course this weekend. And if not, then we will see you next week for Stock Talk Thursday.